What are those, shrimp?
Okay.
Who do we complain to when the snacks we love disappear? These are the 10 favorite discontinued foods we all miss. Jell-O Pudding Pops.
Cosby here, unveiling new chocolate-covered Jell-O brand pudding pops.
General Mills introduced frozen pudding on a stick in 1982 and discontinued it 11 years later. Jell-O Pudding Pops came in several flavors, including banana, vanilla, and chocolate. After launching, the product saw over $100 million in sales during its first year. Yet, despite its popularity, Jell-O decided that it wasn't a frozen food brand and the product was too expensive to manufacture. Despite making $300 million in sales at the end of the fifth year, the product was no longer profitable. In 2004, Popsicle acquired the rights to Jell-O Pudding Pops, and they continued to market the brand until 2011, when it was slowly removed from shelves. Some state their removal was due to the move from Jell-O to Popsicle. While the frozen treat was once very popular, the Popsicle brand wasn't the same.
Get your popsicle!
Instead of Jell-O's wider, flat shape, Popsicle changed them to mimic their own brand's image. Consumers noted that the biggest difference between the two versions was that the new ones tasted more like fudgesicles. Jumpin' Jack Cheese Doritos.
I got a surprise for you. Doritos! Not now, later.
Introduced in 1990, these Doritos quickly became popular with their blend of pepper jack and cheddar cheese flavoring. It provides a subtle touch of pepper flavoring, which gently coats the tongue without being too spicy. It was just the right amount of spice. While snackers enjoyed the new flavor, the bag stated it was a limited edition. While they did vanish for a time, Doritos re-released the flavor, again for a limited time, as a throwback. And after being re-released for a second time, they vanished again. Fans were upset to see their snack favorite disappear and began a Facebook campaign in hopes of a return. Well, fans got their wish as Jumpin' Jack Cheese Doritos returned in 2022.
I'm thinking I'm back!
Yet, while they did return, if you go to the Doritos site, there is no listing of this flavor. Apparently, Doritos has discontinued 3 of their flavors in 2023. Unfortunately for fans, Jumpin' Jack Cheese was one of them. Oreo Cakesters.
Scoop full of Oreos.
Oreo cookies have been a favorite snack for decades. In 2007, Nabisco decided to replace the cookie portion of the Oreo with chocolate sponge cake-like circles. If you're wondering why the Oreo Cakesters disappeared, the answer proves inconclusive. There's no solid reason why they were taken off the market. Some speculate their removal in 2012 was that, despite the hype, they just weren't that popular. However, after a 10-year break, Oreo Cakesters returned in 2022. Oreo cited the reason behind their decision was a result of fans continually begging, pleading, and direct messaging about their return.
Please.
This Oreo snack returned to select retailers, including the last Blockbuster store in Bend, Oregon. Oreo Cakesters were sold at this location for a limited duration and displayed on the store's marquee. Posters were also displayed on the windows and walls. Visitors were even provided with free samples packaged in VHS-styled retro packaging. In addition to the original recipe, Oreo decided to add Nutter Butter Cakesters to their product line. Nutter Butter Cakesters are made up of 2 snack cakes with a peanut butter filling. Furthermore, Oreo has decided that it will be a permanent part of their brand. First time here? Well, what are you waiting for? Take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Reese's Peanut Butter and Banana Cream Cups.
Me and the peanut butter are heading up. See you in 7 minutes.
Reese's introduced this famous peanut butter and banana formula in 2007 as a tribute to the late Elvis Presley. This tribute came 30 years after his death. Since Elvis loved peanut butter and banana sandwiches, Reese's decided to pay homage and turn the combo into a peanut butter cup. Its packaging contained an image of Elvis during his younger years, and the motto became, "Live like the king." This collector's edition was only available for a limited time, so some fans purchased them by the caseload, saving some in the freezer to consume later.
Do we scatter it all, or do we save some for later?
Reese's made the ingredients work well together, and the snack garnered plenty of praise. The peanut butter and banana were made the stars, while there was only a hint of chocolate. Disappointed by its removal, fans were hoping for its return in 2017 on the 40th anniversary of Elvis's death. However, just like Elvis, this treat did not return from the beyond. Yogos.
I love yogurt. Yogurt's my favorite. Give me yogurt.
Yogos became popular in the snack food aisle in 2005. When Kellogg's first introduced this yogurt-covered fruit snack, it quickly became all the rage with consumers. This popularity led Kellogg's to produce different variations called Yogos Bits and Yogos Sour Bits before being removed from shelves. Kellogg's reported strong sales for this product in 2006 and 2007, so the reason for its removal was not due to lack of popularity. Some theorize the reason for it being discontinued was from the yogurt oils making kids sick despite not having any food allergy. Others pondered that perhaps the illness was generated from the oil making the fruit inside the product go bad. The third theory is that it was removed due to low profit margins.
Well, I'm out of cash.
In the end, Yogos may have been too expensive to make. Kellogg's may have not been making enough of a profit to merit continuing production. An online petition soon circulated. However, despite continued demand for its return, Kellogg's response was less than enthusiastic. In a 2016 tweet from the company, Kellogg's addressed public demand for Yogos' return with a "thank you." So at this point, it looks like the company has no plans to reproduce them ever again. Hershey's Kissables.
Could we interest you in some chocolate?
Since 1907, Hershey's has been an American chocolate classic. Hershey's Kissables consisted of miniature Hershey's Kisses encased in a hard candy shell without the foil. The basic colors were orange, red, yellow, blue, and green. Holiday versions were also made for Easter in pastel colors, Valentine's Day decorated in pink and red, and Christmas decked out in red and green colors. In 2007, Hershey's created Kissables Dark, which contained dark chocolate. This version had colors that were subdued with a semi-sweet taste. Originally made to mimic regular-sized Hershey Kisses using milk chocolate, Hershey's changed their formula in 2007. They replaced cocoa butter with cheaper fats to make it more cost-effective to produce. However, this resulted in an altered taste along with losing their milk chocolate designation. No longer could the FDA classify it as candy-coated milk chocolate. It could only be labeled as chocolate candy. Customers could immediately detect the flavor difference and did not embrace the change. They reported the change as off, and the candy lost its appeal. Thus, after a 2-year run, this delectable treat was discontinued in 2009. Lifesaver Holes.
Hey kid, get in my van and I'll give you some candy.
Around since 1912, Lifesavers have become an American staple in the candy industry. Yet, despite the popularity of Lifesavers, Lifesaver Holes had a very brief existence. Introduced in 1990, the new candies were pulled from shelves only months later. This candy was marketed using the same premise as donut holes. Lifesaver Holes consisted of tiny, hard candy discs that were sold in small plastic tubes. There were catchy names like Island Fruit, Sunshine Fruit, and Outrageously Fruity to appeal to younger consumers. They were even marketed using Pixar's pre-roll Toy Story commercials. Unfortunately, the product was recalled in 1991 as the cap on the packaging tube was deemed a choking hazard. It was reported that kids were biting off the container's plastic caps. Thankfully, there were no serious injuries. However, 4 children were reported to have gagged on the caps.
Okay, spit it out! Sheldon! Honey, are you okay?
This news caused Lifesavers to remodel and rethink their packaging. Lifesavers Holes returned to the United States market several months later, this time sporting a new lip balm-styled cap, making it safer than its predecessor. They also came with a warning that the product was not intended for those under 3 years old. However, the redesign came too late. The company was unable to recover from the bad publicity, and Lifesavers Holes quickly disappeared from public consumption. Reese's Bites.
How about I fix you some cocoa?
For those who love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Reese's Bites provided another alternative. Reese's Bites were tiny spheres of peanut butter with a chocolate coating. They were designed after Reese's original peanut butter cups, just in a smaller, rounder form. The brand later morphed into including Cookie Bites, Pretzel Bites, Rolo Bites, Kit Kat Bites, and Peppermint Patty Bites. While the idea appeared to be a brilliant marketing move, the treats were taken off of shelves. One speculation was that they weren't as popular as their other brand varieties. However, the real reason soon became apparent as the bites posed a choking hazard.
Choke! Choke! Choke!
Interestingly, despite other brands being similar in size and not posing any risks, Reese's determined they would need to reevaluate the product. After taking a closer look, they were able to better assess the danger of their product. The issue with the candies didn't reside in its shape, it ended up being the bite's size that posed a threat. Since it was larger than other candies of similar shape, it did indeed pose a choking hazard. The removal of Reese's Bites in 2004 prompted Reese's to launch Reese's Swoops. This new treat consisted of Pringles-shaped chocolate with peanut butter icing. These also became discontinued in 2012 and were replaced with an unwrapped version of the miniatures called Reese's Minis. Pepsi Blue.
Could I get a rum and Coke?
Pepsi, okay?
This bright blue Pepsi was introduced in 2002. It was touted to be a berry-cola fusion. Partially inspired by Mountain Dew Code Red, it may have been developed to compete with Coca-Cola. Pepsi Blue was introduced months after the launch of Vanilla Coke in May. In its first year, Pepsi Blue sold 17 million cases of their product. However, it completely disappeared by 2004, being permanently discontinued. If you're wondering about the cause, there may be a few reasons. The first reason was that, after its initial release, it saw a decline in sales. While the first year did well, sales lagged by the second year. Pepsi went from selling 17 million cases to just 5 million cases the following year. This may have indicated that the novelty of consuming this vibrant blue liquid had worn off.
I just got bored. Everybody out.
Another reason was its controversial blue dye. Its neon blue coloring was comprised of blue number 1. Although it was never prohibited in the US, this dye was outlawed in some European countries. Additionally, a study from the National Library of Medicine linked the dye to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Originally produced using coal tar, an oil base is now used to make it safer. Pepsi Blue did return in May 2021 for a limited time. Despite receiving a warm welcome, it also left shelves quickly. Dunkaroos.
We should go get Dunkaroos.
Do you remember the thrill of opening your lunchbox and finding Dunkaroos inside? Introduced in 1988, Dunkaroos were a delicious snack that kids loved. Dunkaroos, in a brilliant move, put a dessert-like spin on the traditional cheese and cracker snack packs. This delicious treat consisted of cookies and frosting, making for the perfect dunking experience. Despite first being released in the 1980s, this snack didn't really take off with kids until the 90s. This was because General Mills introduced an energetic kangaroo as their mascot who appeared in their commercials. This snack favorite did a slow fade from American shelves in 2012. The reason? Well, there are several. General Mills stated they were pulled because they decided to change their snack portfolio. However, the biggest reason appeared to be that Dunkaroos' popularity had dwindled down to a small market share. While still available in Australia and Canada, rumors began to surface about its return to the US market in the summer of 2020. General Mills announced the relaunch of their classic vanilla cookie with frosting and vanilla sprinkles. What sparked the sudden interest? For years, fans of this lunchbox snack petitioned General Mills for a comeback of the brand.
He's back!
So the company quietly joined Instagram and Twitter in January of 2020 to test if their announcement of a relaunch through cryptic posts would spark interest. Thankfully, it did. Furthermore, General Mills decided to keep the recipe the same so kids today can enjoy the same taste that their parents fell in love with. Stick around for another great video. Just tap or click and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.